Hey there! How the heck are you? This is Tom the Beer Whisperer, and you're drinking with the Beer Whisperer. And this is a ginger bee honey ginger beer from Crabtree out of Greeley, Colorado. Let's pop it and pour it. We'll get straight to the beer, and then we'll have a conversation. Now, I've done a beer review on this thing, or not, as much of a beer review as I do, more, but just kind of an overview than a review. But anyway, I will give you the particulars. It is 6.5%. I believe it is, what, 11.2 IBUs. It's not seriously big. Bitter. Oh man, the honey aroma on this is brutal though. Oh, I've never had one quite like this, and in fact, I would have never guessed this is a 6.5% beer from tasting it. It looks and tastes incredibly light. There's probably well, I mean, they say they use 60 pounds of honey in every batch, so I mean that's probably why it's so light. It doesn't feel so big. Ah, wowzer. Summer brews, I'm kind of, this is what I would call anyway, a specialty summer brew. Basically meaning that it's not a pure barley malt brew. You'd have to consider ginger and honey adjuncts. Amongst beer geeks like myself, we don't. We don't usually hold those against brewers. We cringe when we hear the word adjunct, because usually when you talk about American adjunct lagers, you're talking about the addition of rice and or corn syrup, corn extract, in some cases, even straight sugar on the cheaper brews. But some things amongst beer geeks don't. Their aroma on it, I wish you could smell this beer. The aroma is just brutal good. It is deceptive. I know I lost my train of thought. I'll have to come back to it, but it's incredibly deceptive because it is 6.5%. But it is one of those that you could easily knock a six-pack back while you're, barbecuing dinner because it's so light, and so refreshing, and so tasty. You're going to think it's a 4%, session summer. But a 6.5%, I know there are guys out there that can drink a lot that'll consider 6.5 session. For me, session is anything above 6. But for me, also, I consider the big brews anything above 8. So I guess there is that gray area between 6 and 8. But everybody has their own measure. Some consider anything above 8 or below 8 session brews. I've even had some people tell me anything above 5%, up to 5% session. Anything above that is not a session. So it depends on your outlook, right? Oh, see, that tells you how good it is right there. What were we talking about? Anyways, I digress. I've started to do these things where I'm still going to do 5-minute segments, but I want to do longer segments so you can follow me through the progression of the beer. Any serious beer geek like myself knows sometimes beers deceive you. I've had beers that I've taken the first couple drinks and it's tasted really good, and then by the end of it, I'm thinking, man, I wish I'd get through with this. And I've had the opposite happen as well. I've had the first couple drinks and not so much. And I get halfway through, and man, this thing is getting better and better. This is one of those. I think it's just going to feel good all the way around. It's got an incredible aroma. Everybody's got different taste buds, so you all can tell me what you think when you try it. I'm a big fan of Crabtree, but I'm feeling more of the honey than the ginger, but I can't feel the ginger at the end. I have tried 2 others from them, which made me really want to try this. I tried the oatmeal stout in their 16-ounce cans. They come in a 4-pack of 16-ounce cans. The oatmeal stout's beautiful. Also had the Eclipse. Da, 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 da. Black IPA. And it's phenomenal too. So I was walking through a store today and saw this. I almost passed it by. I said, no, you know what? I got to see what else these guys do. I've never tried any of their 12-ounce bottles. They had a wheat. I'm just not big into wheats at the moment. So I passed the wheat by, but I was intrigued by the ginger honey thing, so I gave her a whirl. And the truth is, this is fantastic. It's one of those scary brews, though. Like I said, I mean, I love to be sitting at this. I mean, it's about 90 degrees out there. And this is one of those that you want to be outside, 85, 90, drinking and grilling, because it feels like a 4.5% scent light lager, but it's a 6.5% ginger honey ale. It's one you can sit easily and knock back at a party or something to just drink incredibly easy. Holy crap, in a basket, man. Oh. We had we had to go to the store earlier today, and we stopped by for some Chinese food for lunch. Same as can't always eat, but when he feels like he has a craving, we stop and get it. We found a place that had an incredible, inexpensive lunch, and I had Szechuan beef, and I can't get a good Szechuan beef back in Springfield, so I want to try it. And they brought me this plate, and I wish I took a picture to put it on some of the other sites, as it was just phenomenal. I'm a little concerned what's going to happen because I ate some of those Thai peppers. It had the crushed peppers in the sauce and on the beef and the vegetables. And by the way, the vegetables were cooked perfect. I had carrots, celery, and the green onions, and it was just where they were just cooked where they were hot, but didn't cook the life out of them where they were still incredibly crunchy. It was cooked absolutely perfect. But I did eat almost 2 of the Thai peppers, so I'm a little concerned what's going to happen, when that works its way through, if you're following my drift. So anyway, without eating ice cream and yelling, "Come on, ice cream!" I'm hoping this beer will kind of cushion that. Specialty brews like this with honey, ginger. Oh, that's what I was talking about before. I'm back! Does that ever happen to you? Oh, that's what we're talking about. How beer geeks are okay with some adjuncts and not with others. Brown sugar, I'm kind of iffy on. Some folks don't like the addition of brown sugar. Some do, and I've seen it done well, and I've seen it done bad. Lagunitas, for instance, that's their well, I actually did last year, but in the past they've had a brew called brown sugar, and I've had to talk to some people that have loved it, some that just hated it. I actually like it. I like it a lot, but I like it at certain times. It's certainly not that light session beer because it's almost 10%. It's certainly one that I only want to drink in fall winter months because it does feel heavy. But for me anyway, on that one, when you add extreme adjuncts, the alcohol tends to burn. On that one, it doesn't for me. But a lot of them, that add a lot of sugar to get that alcohol content. You got to add sugar. So if you've got a high ABV beer, it's got to have sugar from somewhere. This one, for instance, comes from honey, and most beer folks, beer geeks, beer snobs, whatever you want to call them, don't seem to mind honey. They don't seem to mind certain things. Ginger. Some can get away with. It's usually like corn. Serious beer folks don't like to see corn in an ingredient. They don't like to see rice generally, unless it's specific or a specialty beer that's trying to get to something. But it gets a little tricky with what adjuncts are acceptable in one art. I popped this beer with you just shy of 10 minutes ago now, so you can see. Obviously, if you've been watching me, I'm not trying to slam this anyway. I'm taking nice drinks, but I'm not guzzling by any stretch, and we've almost whipped through 12 ounces in just about 10 minutes. And that's a bit of a scary thought, is it not? because generally, sometimes a beer takes 15, 20 to 30, 45 minutes, depending on what style. But when you're drinking a 6.5% beer, usually a beer has a consistency where, it's at least 30 minutes. So what I suggest is, because a beer like this is going to go down easier in a Tijuana hooker, you're going to want to wait after you have one of these. Wait about 30 minutes, or at least 20 minutes before you pop the next one. Don't pop them in succession, or you're going to be hammered quickly. Because this is one that certainly is incredibly refreshing. It's also one of those rare beers that is refreshing, but also has a whole lot of flavor. Because I mean, I've had a lot of honey lagers and honey ales that you really can't taste the honey. This you really can't taste the honey. Not only can you taste it, it just is all over the aroma. Just permeates the whole feel. Did you see that? You guys were with me from start to finish on this one, and that is how easy that is, brother. Oh, a great beer. Let me show this to you one last time here. Ginger Bee. Excuse me, Crabtree. It's a great beer. And you drank that with the Beer Whisperer. Thanks for hanging out. I will usually have the last swallow with you, but I drank it already. So I'm going to say goodbye and hope you're still with me next time. Ta-da!